Mike Darne has issued a response to him and his driver, Connor Jones, being disqualified on Wednesday night for a left side weight violation. You can see here the update on Flow Racing that he was disqualified. It reads, Connor Jones has been disqualified for a left side weight violation. Hunter Wright is now the unofficial winner pending further tech inspection. It was the second disqualification during the World Series of Asphalt. In the opening night, where Connor Jones also seemingly looked like he had won, he was disqualified for an issue with the carburetor. So we previously covered Connor Jones's response in another video, but just as a refresher, this is what he said over on Facebook. Another Speed Weeks win was taken from our 4014 post-race. We weighed in at 58.1 on the left side. We requested permission from the tech officials to remove some of the rubber that we picked up during the victory lap on our left side tires, but our request was denied. Ultimately, we were disqualified for exceeding the left side weight limit by 1 pound. We are frustrated with this ruling as we feel the scale pads were inconsistent, given that we received 3 varying weight readings. So that's really interesting. The fact that the scale is coming back with 3 different readings. I'm wondering what those readings were. Obviously, if they're different, were they all at 58.1? Were some of them a little bit higher? Were some of them lower? Obviously, we know that one of them came in at 58.1, the one that they used, but it's unclear what those other 2 readings were. But that is an interesting little bit of information there. I'd like to know more. Nevertheless, he went on and said, although we had a challenging week, we remain proud of the speed we showed. I want to thank Mike Darne Racing and each one of our crew members for their dedication during the World Series. We are now heading home and will shift our focus to the Cars Tour season opener at New River. So that was the statement from Connor Jones. We now got this statement from Mike Darne Racing, posted this earlier today. It says, my team's series of unfortunate events this week demands an explanation. I stand firm on my belief that we were robbed of our initial win and the DQ was an unfair call. The DQ was for a safety wire on the carburetor that is a NASCAR requirement. It is not performance enhancing and should be applauded for going the extra step to protect my driver. So obviously not happy with that disqualification by the officials of the World Series of Asphalt down there at New Smyrna. And then he addresses the second one saying, we received our second DQ for left side weight. The rule is 58. We were 58.1. The rule also allows for tolerance up to 58.09. So ultimately, we lost the win over 0.01, 1/100th. I take full personal responsibility for this miscalculation, and my deepest apologies go out to Connor and the Jones family. So he's taking responsibility for it, but he obviously is noting that it is very, very ticky-tacky, and that's kind of how I'm looking at this. 0.01 feels like an injustice was carried out here, especially if they refused to allow them to remove some of the rubber that might have built up on the car. You get rid of that rubber and the car meets weight. Feels very, very ticky-tacky here, but I do get the argument that, hey, you're over the weight, you get dequalified. That's the rule. It's a hard rule. We stick to it. So I understand that part, but I am extraordinarily sympathetic with Mike Darne here and Connor Jones because, I mean, being DQ'd over 1/100th is, it seems very, very ticky-tacky. I doubt that I get that it's a game of tenths and hundredths and everything like that. It's a sport of trying to get any kind of advantage you possibly can, but it's hard for me to think that they gained that amount of advantage, and the fact that they had seemingly had a lot of rubber built up on that left side makes me think that the car wasn't illegal and probably should not have been disqualified. That's my opinion reading this stuff here. Now, obviously, I haven't really seen a statement from officials other than kind of this tech update here from Flow Racing and some other news outlets. But we're just basically reporting on that he was disqualified for the weight. No kind of explanation outside of that. But anyways, Mike Darne goes on and says, I'm incredibly proud of Connor and my entire team. Connor's talent behind the wheel this week was the best I've ever seen from him. And my team, they rallied and kept digging regardless of the many setbacks. It's disheartening to read all the hate on social media. Anyone that knows me knows I continuously push for integrity in racing and that I have never been DQ'd, much less 2 times in 1 week. A sincere thank you to Robbie and Missy Jones for the opportunity to run the World Series at New Smyrna Speedway with Connor. Now we look forward and prepare for an awesome Cars Tour season. great things to come. So clearly, both Connor Jones, Mike Darne, they are addressing this, and they look like they are going to be moving forward, putting it behind them, and are focusing now on the Cars Tour, which I'm actually really excited for this year. I think there is a lot of opportunity for a lot of drivers to kind of chase that championship, become the favorites out there. Obviously, defending champion Brendan Butterbean Queen will not be returning. He is chasing the ARCA series this year, making that transition away from Elite Pulling and Performance. And then Carson Quaffle has been promoted at Junior Motorsports from their Cars Tour ride to the Xfinity Series, and I think he's going to excel well in that series as well, similarly to Josh Berry before him. So with those are the two big guys. I think Quaffle won 3 championships, I want to say, and Brendan and Butterbean won the last one. So those are the two big favorites are not with the series anymore. So there's a big vacuum at the top. Obviously, that Junior Motorsports car is going to be competitive. It's got Connor Hall in the car. He had been competing with Quaffle, with Butterbean over the last 2 years for the championship. So I expect him to be maybe the favorite going in. But you can't count out those Elite Pulling and Performance cars as well, with Doug Barnes Jr. and Laney Bice, both of them getting top 10 at the Icebreaker at Florence to kind of get prepared for the season. I know Doug got in a wreck and he still salvaged a top 10, and I think Laney Bice finished on the podium, second or third. I don't have it in front of me, but I think she was a top 3. So look forward to them potentially being very competitive when it comes to the car store. And then I think Connor Jones could be someone to look to compete for the championship. Obviously, he has a lot of experience with the Cars Tour, and I think he's matured a lot. I know he's had his issues with the Truck Series last year and kind of giving the guy the tap on the back there and sending him spinning and into that kind of violent crash that he was involved in. But I think Connor's learned a lot about that. I think he's kind of managed his aggressiveness now, and I think he could be very dangerous in the Cars Tour when it comes to competing for wins night in and night out and chasing that championship. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. I know I've talked to him at Dominion. I think it was once. Might have been a couple times, and he has matured. He has matured since I've been I was following him at Dominion when he was in like a Legends car. So I think he could be a big threat. So I will definitely be following him in the Cars Tour. But this is what Mike Darne and Connor Jones had to say regarding the DQ. Let me know what you make of it. Do you think that this was a just disqualification, that they went over the weight limit and they got DQ'd? That's the rule. Do you think, like me, maybe it's a little bit too ticky-tacky and an injustice was carried out? Let me know in the comments below.